everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be speaking about some things a dietitian can and can't do. So hi everyone, my name is Kim. I am a registered dietitian. If you are new here to this channel and you like what you see so far, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. If you guys have been watching me for any amount of time, you guys have an idea of what a dietitian does. There are some limitations in the field of nutrition and dietetics. So let's first start off with a positive note. What can a dietitian do? The first thing a dietitian can do is give you personalized, individual advice. Some people think that the advice dietitians give is just a cookie cutter advice, like a one size fits all, and that is the furthest away from the truth. Dietitians work with you individually to come up with realistic, achievable, timely, measurable goals that suit your personal life. So what may work for Tom may not necessarily work for Sally. So they individualize their plan of care for you. The second thing a dietitian does is they know how to manage chronic diseases. So say for instance you're someone with diabetes or high blood pressure or high cholesterol, a dietitian is able to give you nutritional advice that will help manage those conditions, because definitely those conditions, as well as other conditions which I did not mention, is affected by food. Third thing a dietitian can help you with is weight loss. Now, obviously, we live in an obesogenic society. So a dietitian can formulate a eating plan for you. They can definitely recommend an increased amount of physical activity depending on your condition that can help promote weight loss. So those are all the things that a dietitian can do. So let's take a look at a few things that a dietitian cannot do. The first thing a dietitian cannot do is to actually diagnose a disease. Dietitians cannot tell you, oh, you have diabetes or you have cancer. That is reserved to another profession altogether. So dietitians first cannot diagnose a disease. The second thing dietitians can't do is actually write for you to receive a prescription. Dietitians cannot write for you to receive a prescription. You cannot take that to a pharmacy and say, well, you know, my dietitian recommended that I get this diabetes medication or this cholesterol medication. Dietitians cannot do that. Again, that is reserved to a medical professional such as a physician or a physician's assistant or a nurse practitioner. Those professions can do those things. Dietitians cannot. Likewise, seeing that dietitians cannot write for you to receive a prescription, they cannot adjust medications. Here's a story. There was an associate of mine and she was a dietitian. She actually decided to leave the profession and she wanted to become a physician's assistant. There's nothing wrong with being a physician's assistant. That's actually another video for another time. But the reason why she decided to leave the field of dietetics and become a physician's assistant is simply because she said that there was a lot of people coming to her that needed their medication, specifically their insulin, to be adjusted, and she couldn't touch it. Being a dietitian, it wasn't in her license. Now, as dietitians, we do have a license to protect. We can lose our license just like any other profession. So she decided, you know what? I'm going to become a physician's assistant because I want to be able to impact my client in case I see that there's something going wrong, in case there's a medication that needs to be adjusted. Now, what dietitians can do is to work with the endocrinologist and work with the medical professional, whether that's a nurse practitioner, PA, or physician, and make recommendations. And it is at the medical professional's discretion whether they adhere or they choose not to adhere to your recommendation, because after all, it's only a recommendation. Some dietitians, what they have done to kind of get a little more wiggle room, a little more freedom in the field of nutrition and dietetics, is they've sought order writing privileges. Now, order writing privileges do not mean, you know, you can go around and you can write medications for anything. No, it's only a specific set of things. For instance, If instead of asking a physician to change the diet, if a dietitian has order writing privileges at their facility, because of course there's state laws and there's bylaws and there's a whole bunch of, I wouldn't say red tape, more like yellow tape that you need to properly cross in order to have order writing privileges. But a dietitian can go ahead and change the diet. Another thing that a dietitian can do with order writing privileges is recommend treatments for something a little more invasive. And these things are tube feedings as well as TPN. So let's first talk about tube feedings. Tube feedings is a means of artificial nutrition where a tube is either inserted through your nose, through your mouth, somewhere in your stomach or in your intestine, and you're started on feedings. Dietitians can write for tube feedings to be started. In my hospital, I do not have order writing privileges. I have dependent order writing privileges, which means I seek permission from the medical professional before I start anything. So with a TPN as well, dietitians can start TPNs depending, of course, as I said earlier, on the discretion of their facility and their state and how comfortable they are with starting TPN. So TPNs, on the other hand, is a little more invasive, but what a TPN is, it's also another form of artificial nutrition. So basically, you're infusing fluids which are loaded with vitamins and amino acids and sometimes lipids if lipids are orders, which are fats, and calories and dextrose, which is sugar, to make sure that the patient is adequately fed. Now, TPNs, total parenteral nutrition, is used if the gut doesn't work. Tube feedings are always the first line of preferable feedings if the individual for some reason cannot eat by mouth. So I just wanted to share with you just a few things what a dietitian can and cannot do. So this is not an exhaustive list. There's a lot more things that dietitians do, and there's a lot more things that a dietitian cannot do. Well, thank you guys for watching. As always, remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section below. And for the dietitians out there watching this video, go ahead and add on to this list. Let's start some discussions. Have a good day. Bye.